Hi, my name is Ty Flippin, and I want to introduce you in this video to the Tecnam P2010. Now, the P2010 is one of the most modern designs on the market today and brings along with it a legacy of over 70 years in aircraft design and building experience. Now, I've done a separate video on the overview of Tecnam as a company, and I encourage you to go take a look at that to learn more about the background of this incredible company. But let's for now get into the P2010 itself. The P2010 was designed by Luigi Pasquale in 2010, therefore the model name and number should make sense based on that information. The design of this airplane brings together two different construction techniques, both carbon fiber and metal. And so let me break that down a little bit for you. First of all, the fuselage is carbon fiber. Carbon fiber gives us the ability to make a clean, smooth, beautiful aerodynamic design. Carbon fiber is also strong. And so you have strength for safety and occupant protection. You also have the ability to build in things like crumple zones that we've learned about in the automotive manufacturing industry. So the carbon fiber fuselage brings a lot of different reasons for its use, but the fuselage then combines all that into a beautiful package. It's aerodynamic, it's safe. Now let's talk about the landing gear. The landing gear is steel spring. So if we look at the mains, we have big steel spring landing gear, very sturdy and strong. You will find that that design is intended for unimproved airport surfaces like the grass strip that I live on, and also for the student training environment. So the student training environment is a place where airplanes tend to get abused a little bit, and the landing gear was designed to take that abuse and not have any damage to the airframe with the strength of the steel spring. You'll also notice the wheel pants are kind of high-waisted on this airplane, and that again is for flying on unimproved surfaces. Now let's look at the nose gear. The nose gear has a very unique design. This design goes into a strut that's mounted to the engine mount rather than the firewall. So any unwanted energy is directed upward and forward in the event of a rough landing, a hard landing, or in the event of an actual accident. Energy is pulled away from the firewall to keep from A, damaging the airframe, but more importantly, providing you safety for the occupants of the airplane. You'll also notice that we have a very high prop clearance, again, keeping in theme with the idea of being able to operate off unimproved surfaces. Next, we turn our attention to the wings and the tail. The wings and the tail are made out of metal, so we have aluminum skinned wings. Now, the reason behind that design is for longevity in the airplane. So we all know, again, in a flight training environment or anytime you're hangared in a shared space, any kind of hangar rash tends to happen on the extremity of the airplane. The aluminum design makes for easy and fast repair, and it's also built to last a long time. So these airplanes were designed for strength, for safety, for longevity, and for ease of maintenance. Now that's the overall design of the airplane. Let's next talk about the power choices that are available in the airplane. Now my airplane has the upgraded Lycoming IO390. The IO390 is a four-cylinder engine that develops 215 horsepower mated with a composite 3-blade constant speed propeller. This particular engine configuration gives me about 140 knots, plus or minus a little bit, on 12.5 to 13 gallons an hour, depending on 65% power is about where I set the power setting and the altitude that I choose on any particular day. Two other engine choices are available in this airplane. This grows the flexibility of the airframe quite a bit. We can go into a Lycoming IO360 180 horsepower engine. That 180 horsepower engine can come with both a fixed pitch 2-blade prop or a constant speed 2 or 3-blade prop as well. So you can get into configuring that 180 horse engine several different ways. The third engine choice is a new Teledyne Continental 170 horsepower turbocharged diesel engine. The real secret behind that airplane engine is that, first of all, it provides you with 5.5 gallon per hour cruise fuel consumption. That is great for the flight training environment or long range, also in parts of the world where avgas is a little harder to come by. So 3 engine choices on the same airframe give you a wide variety of ability inside of this airplane. Now we carry 61 usable gallons of fuel, and the overall useful load on this airplane is around 900 pounds, heavily dependent on which engine you choose. It can be slightly higher, slightly below that. But in either case, you can carry enough fuel and people to go on a variety of missions. You can take 4 adults on a weekend trip. You can take yourself on a longer trip. And it's really designed for that typical GA mission of around 300 nautical miles. That's why I purchased the airplane. And we'll talk more about why I chose this airplane in a separate video. All right, so now we're going to go inside the airplane and take a deeper look at the interior. All right, let's take a look at some of the real advantages that Tecnam brings with the interior of this airplane. First of all, the high wing design allows for ease of entry and exit. And in a moment, I'm going to show you the third door that lets us get into the back seat directly without having to climb over. But let's start with the most important seat in the house. I'm going to look here. You've got a beautiful Italian leather seat. It's a bucket seat. It's a very comfortable seat. It reclines, slides forward and aft. Also has a power switch that allows you to raise and lower your seating position, which is really nice to have for those of us that want to sit a little higher in the cockpit. Getting in and out as easy as just stepping in and popping in. So you don't have to climb, you don't have to do anything special to get into the airplane itself. I've got the avionics fired up. You hear those fans running. I'm going to slide this seat to where I sit normally, and then I'm going to raise it a little bit where I can see the top of the cowling. Now, I have great leg room. I could scoop this seat back again, and I couldn't even reach the pedals, which is nice. I've got the seat reclined a little bit right now as well. It's kind of how I like to sit. Once I get in here, all of my electrical switches along the bottom of the panel, nice and organized in a flow checklist type of arrangement. I have Garmin's G1000 NXI avionics in the panel with the GFC 700 autopilot. That gives us pretty much everything you could ask for in avionics and situational awareness. Finally, I have an electric standby instrument in this airplane, so that allows me to eliminate the vacuum system in the airplane. All electric, very easy to keep maintained. You don't have to worry about a vacuum pump failing you on a night IFR cross country somewhere. So the airplane itself, very comfortable. You have on the yoke, you have your electric trim, you have autopilot, control wheel steering, and push to talk like you would normally expect. You have a manual trim wheel for the elevator trim, and you also have a rudder trim switch that's electrically controlled here. USB and 12-volt power plugs for charging your devices as you go along the way. Nice big vents for airflow. Sun visors as you would expect, even a sunglass holder for yourself. Obviously a luxury car kind of feature, but in the airplane, part of the design. Individual reading lights here, and then the panel is lit well for the night. All right, now let's walk around the back of the airplane right quick. I'm gonna hop out. Now, as we get to this side of the airplane, you're going to find our baggage door is right here, very easy to access, a large baggage compartment. But the bigger thing I want to point out here is the third door. So you can see the third door here and our ability to get in and out easily of the airplane. So I have a friend who's 6'3". He's been in and out of this airplane multiple times and taken a ride, and it's very easy to get in and out of. I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. You can get into this just about as easy as you can hop into your SUV, and look at the leg room that I have. I have, more than my hand's length, so probably 8 to 10 inches before I reach the front seat. The front seat is sitting where I typically sit both seats. You can kind of see I've adjusted this in the same spot that it was when I was in the front seat. This seat also reclines and will slide forward and aft, so you can create more leg room, sit up straight, or a little lesser leg room and lean back. Also here, air vents for each occupant. I've got reading lights, and I've got additional power ports down here, 12-volt and USB charging for your devices. So very comfortable, very large cabin, great for 4 adults on a weekend trip, or your kids in the back seat as you're going to see the grandparents or whatever you're doing with the airplane. So the P2010 gives you a variety of mission support, and it gives you comfort, it gives you safety, and it does it in a very economical package. Lots of engine choices. There's so much to love about this airplane. We'd love to tell you more about it. Please like or share this video with your friends and contact us for more information. Thank you.